Well, it's not just the bad guys police have to worry about. A 911 dispatcher reportedly saying the cops deserved it as the two officers were dying. And now a report that Eric Garner's daughter tweeted out the name of an officer present during the chokehold death of her dad. It included a link to the officer's personal information, including his address. Former D.C. homicide detective Rod Wheeler says this is getting out of hand. We're also joined by former Yonkers, New York Police Commissioner Ed Harnett. Rod, what do you think?
I think it's getting out of hand, just like you indicated there, Brenda. You know, police officers do a tremendous job day in and day out, and we all know that. And I'm not one to stand here and tell you that there's not problems within the police departments, various police departments across the country, but there's ways that we have to address and work on those issues. And I'll tell you, Brenda, for anyone in this country that threatens or even attempt to harm a police officer, they should be dealt with severely by our Justice Department. But now, stop right there. Our Justice Department needs to show more support for our law enforcement officers. And I'll tell you, Brenda, I don't see it coming out of this Justice Department, and that's what bothers me more than anything.
Okay, thanks. Ed, you know, our men in blue put their lives on the line every day. Now it's not just the bad guys, but they have to worry about the dispatchers. Those are critical partners, aren't they?
They certainly are. And if this story is true, I find it absolutely outrageous, reprehensible. I think if it can be proven, I think if it's possible, those people should be fired for issuing those kind of sentiments. The lifeline between police and dispatchers is a critical part of that relationship. And now there's officers out there in the field that are worried that the person dispatching to them may not have their safety at paramount.
Right. And Rod, it's not just our finest at risk. If this story is true about Eric Garner's daughter, their families may be threatened. What does that do to a police officer when he's thinking of that?
Well, it's devastating. I mean, you know, you always worry about your family. And, you know, Brenda, a lot of these police officers actually live in the communities in which they serve. So their families are targets as well. And again, I think there needs to be a strong statement made from our government that we will not in this country tolerate any type of abuse towards our law enforcement officers. Like I said, 99.9% of those men and women that hits the street every day, they're going out there to protect everyone, regardless of race or ethnicity. And I just think we need to stand behind our law enforcement officers more, Brenda.
Yeah, we absolutely do, and we thank them very much for their service. And where does this lead? Does this cause police officers to step back a bit because they're so afraid of the repercussions? I think
it's a possibility, certainly. They don't feel support. They see things like the Garner daughter making that statement. I chalk it up to grief a lot, but you don't get a pass for reckless behavior just because you're grief-stricken. Right. The daughter should take a page out of the mother's book. The mother has called for peace and for calm and for reconciliation. The daughter clearly should listen to the mom.
Yeah. Are you worried, Rod, that like this this person who was caught by the cop talking about, you know, killing them because they were not white? How far does this go? Are we going to see copycats of this type of thing?
You know, the unfortunate truth, Brenda, is, yes, I do believe we will see copycats of that. You know, real quickly, if you look back just this past year in June, there was a young police officer gunned down in cold blood in New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, and he was only responding to a call. This guy sat and waited on this officer and killed him in cold blood. I think we're going to see more copycats, but I can also tell you and the viewers that police officers are not afraid. They're going to continue to be out there, and we're going to continue to work to keep our communities safe and secure.
And we appreciate that very much. Thank you to both of you.